All right, all right. First time table talk and drinks, and so I've got a little script here because I can't remember everything I wrote down. So
Just wing it.
welcome to Table Talk and Drinks, where we drink adult beverages and talk about tabletop RPGs. We'll talk about rules that you may or may not know, one-shot ideas, campaign ideas, character ideas, and whatever else may come to mind. I'm your host, David Mode, and I'm here tonight with...
Derek Dalton.
And tonight we're going to be talking D&D. You know, the largest of the TTRPGs. Yeah.
All right. Well, what's first?
Okay, so we got sound good. Sorry, I just got to check on the chat, or not the chat,
We're professionals.
I got to check on the stream and make sure everything's running smooth. Okay.
I should have got another drink.
There's more in that fridge.
I know there's more in that fridge. I got another one here just for a backup. I'm like, I'm ready to that Arnold Palmer's.
All right. We are 3 minutes in, so it is okay to swear.
Oh, really?
So, I came across something in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. I've owned the book since it came out, and
Is this one of the D&D?
yeah, it's a D&D source book.
Oh, is it source book? Is it D&D from Wizards, or is
Yeah,
it?
it's a D&D source book. Like,
Okay.
And there's a couple things that I had no fucking clue that existed.
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing it.
Group assistance. If everybody has the same patron, so say you've got 5 people in your party, and all 5 people worship
The same deity?
the same deity. You know, whomever that might be. There is a thing called group assistance, and having a group patron gives an adventuring group a common purpose, blah, 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 blah.
Cool.
As a result of this unity, each member of the party can grant advantage to an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw of another party member.
That's awesome.
To grant advantage in this way, a character and the chosen target must be able to see or hear each other. And neither can be incapacitated. And then once a party member grants advantage in this way, they can't do it again until they finish a long rest. I did not fucking know that. It's never crossed my mind to be like, oh, hey, let's everybody follow the same patron.
Yeah, but no one's going to do that, but that's actually kind of cool. And I can think of a few ways to be kind of a sneaky shenanigans with that. Like be monks or a bunch of clerics.
Well,
with them like, with Tyr.
Wizards, their example is a group of wizards pledges themselves to their patron Tasha, the Witch Queen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Talk about broken.
Dude, I think it's freaking sweet.
That's cool. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, like I read that. It was maybe a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, and I was reading that, and I was like, this can't be fucking real. Like I'm on my phone, I'm on the D&D app, and I'm like going through, and I'm just like, nah, this isn't actually source material. I'm like, this is some bullshit fucking
homebrew.
Like, yeah, homebrew or some fucking post that somebody put out there, like, because you know how D&D Beyond has like little articles and stuff put out from different people. I was like, oh yeah, it's just something like that. But I went on D&D Beyond, and it's literally in the group patron section of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Like,
that is awesome.
And there are so many really cool things in this chapter. There's perks for your service. Whether they be standard business arrangements, as a steady wage, access to facilities, extraordinary boons, audiences with powerful figures, exceptions from certain laws.
So it just expands on everything. But...
Yeah, and this is a really, really good way, especially I think if you've got new players at the table. If you've got one veteran and a couple of new people, obviously sit down with your DM and you guys can talk about it. But if everybody had the same patron, like just think of like how a new player would feel like coming into that party. They can just it's like, oh, the veteran, say David Lott in our Icewind Dale campaign, he's played a lot of D&D. He's like, well, this is how it's supposed to be. This is raw, blah, 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 blah. And, this new player's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about with raw. What is this 3-letter word? Like, he's got the DM over there saying raw and rule of cool and, this and this. And it's like the new player's like, I don't fucking know what's going on.
Right. By the way, the rule of cool is always a good thing with new players. Especially when I was going, when I first did D&D, that would have been kind of cool. Yeah. And it's, that rule with everybody on the same page, does it have to be everybody or just
has to be the entire party?
So it has to be entirely, like if you have an entirety of like 10 people have to be worshiping the same.
The entire party. That is the way it works. That's the way it's written. Okay. I can see like a DM choosing to not do it that way, but the way it is written, it has to be done that way. Yeah. Which is really cool. Yeah. I think it's a way to have a cohesive table.
Agreed.
I can see like all right, I gotta pause. Sorry, I'm trying to share our live over on Facebook. I don't know if our Twitter master is going to be able to send this out on Twitter later.
He should.
But if he does, check us out on Twitter. Like I said, this is our first stream. This is the first setup of Table Talk and Drinks. And, the drinks are because there's alcoholic beverages. Maybe we get drunk. Maybe we don't.
Well, I was planning.
His goal is to get drunk
and wing this entire podcast. I'll probably pick up a few things here. I'm into the character creation. I'm waiting for that, and then we'll see how far I get into these drinks.
Yeah. All right, I need to post. All right, sorry.
Nope, sorry. Remember, we're professionals.
Professionals. Okay.
Everybody has hiccups.
Yeah. I've got a couple more. Is there anything you want to talk about before I keep just burning down my list?
Well, I could burn something real quick. According to D&D, there's a lot of books out there. Especially, this is the one for the campaigns I've been trying to plan, but I need the books because I need to go into more details. If anybody doesn't know, there's a company called Ghostfire Gaming. They have a book called Grim Hollow. It's a horror campaign. It's not really much of a horror. It's like you can play horror, or you can play it, casually, like, most of us do, or really dorky like with scary creatures. But there's something in here that's where is it? It was like this the Seeker's Guide to the Twister Taverns. It's different taverns that you can put into D&D. They each into your world or your build. And each of them have like different boons or stuff that you get there, special items. But I thought it was really cool to make a campaign like that, set it to whatever world, and do a tavern bar crawl.
Oh, all right.
So like perfect example, we're all drinking, and then like we gotta go find like why. The main plot was like why is your favorite bar changing into like a 5-star hotel and being ruined? It's kind of like the big rich people coming in and taking over your favorite part of town or your favorite bar or restaurant and then turning it into something that's not, and work it that way. But then each time you turn a bar back over or you save it or do whatever, And there's more to it I got planned. But, like, once you turn it over, you get that boon. Or you get that item. Or you get that taverns or bars unpledged item loyalty to go and save as much bars or restaurants as possible. So I thought it was pretty cool. It's awesome. It's there. And I like also like the grim dark of a lot of stuff. And with this one, it's grim dark, but it's like you don't have to play it that way.
You said that was Ghostfire Gaming.
Ghostfire Gaming is where you can go buy.
Not sponsored. We are not sponsored by anybody.
Nope.
Don't look at our drinks. We're not sponsored by anybody.
We work for these people. Well, not
we do not. We are not sponsored. This is not a sponsored video. We don't make any money off of this. We do this for fun.
Yep.
Yep.
Not sponsored. The people.
Hey, if you want to sponsor us and you're watching, hit us up. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on TikTok. Hit us up on YouTube. You know. We've So. And then another one that I thought was really cool. It's just funny. So everybody personalizes their spells, whether it be Balmir, and everything has to be a gun because he's an artificer pirate from Luskin.
Hell yeah, pirates! I might be a one-trick pony, but pirates is amazing. I'm sorry.
So I just thought this was a really cool quote from Tasha. It says, "When I first learned magic from Baba Yaga, I couldn't help but add spectral chicken legs to all my spells. She said she wasn't a fan, but I caught her grinning a few times. So of course, I still add those legs. What use is magic if you can't harness it to amuse your mom?" I'm like, that is freaking awesome.
That's another thing too, I want more flav from people. Some wacky magic stuff. There's a lot of rule lawyers. No, magic has to be this, or it turns like this. Especially when I use firebolt. My crossbow imbues magic of runes and all this other crap my character's carved and learned over the years, and then shoots a magic beam. I'm thinking because when I think he shoots, it's a freaking beam of freaking red energy that shoots out like an anime style. It's just cloud of smoke.
So, in your if you see it as a beam, kind of like a laser, would it go on forever until your trigger's unpulled, or would you shoot it and it shoots just a little laser like a blaster from the wars that might happen in the stars? I'm not trying to catch any copyright infringements here, man.
It's 25 years. We're good. It's fair use. But yes, it's going to be short bursts, but it's going to be more toward the anime style things, not realistic. Because, when I play high fantasy, I try to, just make it a little bit fun, a little bit silly, but sometimes serious on the serious parts. But it's just a short burst, but it just goes. And I think you shoot it once and it goes, and you gotta let go again to shoot it again.
Well, I was just curious. So, if it's a beam, say a creature from, anime, he's got goldy, spiky hair. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about.
You say goldy, spiky. The blonde, spiky guys. Takes 5 episodes.
It's so if it's a beam like that, I always wonder, obviously the blast is the big round ball at the end, but you've got that trail that's following it. What if somebody was to pass through that trail? Would they get hurt?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Would it stop it?
I think it will.
Because is it an energy passing? Is it still pushing energy towards the end?
Yeah, well, it's still, you got the end, whereas the mass, and you still have energy behind it, still pushing it. I say if somebody walks through it or somehow goes through it, that part gets cut off, and then that other part hits. So you can say let's do half damage to whatever you roll.
What if I put a mirror?
I would say it still will go through it. I'm not thinking it's an actual laser laser. Like our laser. This is a laser of pure raw energy.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I was just curious, I'm like, I always wondered that. It was like, obviously the main force is that ball at the end, but like, what if somebody flew through the middle of the beam? Like, would they get hurt, or is that kind of like a tail? And there's nothing there. It's just a visual representation of where it came from.
Could be both. But I was like, said the thing is, it's always like an energy. I'm pretty sure there's a subreddit somewhere on the internet.
I'm sure there's a Reddit about it.
But yeah, I think it's just that you got the TNT in the front and then the energy in the back.
Okay.
Just like how I think of, we use lightning. Lightning, connects 2 points. That's always interesting to me though, because like lightning's faster than my beam of energy.
Yeah.
And D&D is like, oh, use this DC 15. I rolled a 4. I miss. That makes sense. But then it's like, I got it DC 20. I moved out of the way and I don't take no damage from lightning. Lightning moves faster. Then I'm like, are you saying moving faster than light?
Moving faster than light. And you cannot touch me.
And then that's what I think about when we play in these games. Like that's why most of these things I think of as anime, because you're moving faster than light.
Because his whole life revolves around anime.
It does. Like that kind of does. I'm not going to be ashamed of that.
hey,
even though I haven't watched it,
I'm not here to kink shame.
I haven't watched an anime in 8 years.
He hasn't watched an anime in 20 minutes.
No, Another time with anime. No D&D anime.
So, I've got one more that
go for it.
Really, kind of just jumped out at me.
Jumped? Like physically jumped?
Yeah. So, there's always, in every game I've ever played, there's always been a DMPC. Whether the DM's controlling it, generally the DM is controlling it. Obviously, it's a DMPC. But there's always an NPC that like ends up following the party around for X amount of time, doing things and helping them and making things happen.
Right.
Did you know there's a stat block for that?
Really?
It's called a sidekick. Did you know you could play as a sidekick?
But when you play...
Who fucking knew? I didn't.
Would that mean I get to play the sidekick? Or do you play as a sidekick?
You.
I.
So it's 100%, it's out of the hands of the DM. It's put in the player's hands. The player can choose to be a sidekick. They have their own leveling structure.
I love that. Sounds like fun.
Or they can have a sidekick.
Does this have plot armor?
No.
No plot armor?
So the way it explains it is a sidekick can be any type of creature with a stat block in the monster manual.
Okay. So, but it has its own different stat block than the monster?
It's got its own leveling system. And the sidekick becomes... Sorry, burps. So you can't choose anything the stat block has to be half or lower for the CR rating.
Okay.
So like you can't go choose an owl bear as your sidekick.
I was gonna make my owl bear a sidekick.
I know.
Well, it looks like I'm being a druid.
And then the level of the sidekick becomes the average level of the party. So if all 5 members are level 5, your sidekick's level 5.
Okay.
But say 3 players are level 5 and 2 players are level 3, your sidekick's level 4.
Okay. That makes sense.
So there's different ways to play the sidekick. A player plays the sidekick as their second character. A player plays the sidekick as their only character.
That'd be fun.
It's ideal. It says it's ideal for a player who wants a character who's simpler than a typical player character. There's a lot less choices. The players can jointly play the sidekick, So if you've got a party of 5 and there's like, hey, us 3 are really good friends with this guy, us 3 are going to split who controls this sidekick. Or the DM plays the sidekick. That's out of the question. I'm not playing the sidekick. If they want a sidekick, they're playing the sidekick.
No, that's actually kind of interesting because like we have friends that hop in and out of our games and have main characters. Maybe like our friend Corey or AJ want to hop in and out of our games.
Yeah.
Make them a sidekick. Like, hey, choose a character. We got a sidekick for you. Boom. You level whatever, and you're gonna be a lot simpler.
Yeah, no, that
really
could
is.
work.
It could work just as fine. I think that gives more, more ease into the game, unless they want to make their own characters or whatever. But like that's like, here, we got some sidekicks. I got 5. Pick if you want, or show me what you want. Go for it. I think it's a really good choice, especially when you're at your own table. Like you got that one friend that comes around once a blue moon, or they can't make it to every session. Like all these DD podcasts, like you got a couple of people that hop in now. Do that,
and instead of leveling your party evenly, even when the player's not there, and it's like 6 of my 10 players are at level 10, and the other 4 are level 5 because they've missed all of this time. Mm-hmm. Make him a sidekick.
Make him a sidekick, because then you can jump up like, hey, that sidekick went away for a minute, did his own shit, bring him back in, level him up.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea. That's actually...
So everything I've talked about is in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Oh, it's all in Tosh?
It's all in Tasha's.
Oh, I thought you were talking about multiple.
No, everything I've brought up is in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So yeah, with the creating the sidekick, so you have to choose if they're an expert, a spellcaster, or a warrior. Those are their only 3 choices. Mm. And each one has its own leveling block.
Okay. So a wizard and a sorcerer just die at level 1 easily, to a breath of fresh air. Sidekick already dead.
So for example, an expert at first level gets a +2 proficiency bonus, and it gets bonus proficiencies and helpful for its features.
That's actually really good.
Say at let's say 6th level. It's a +3 to its proficiency bonus, and it has coordinated strike.
What's coordinated strike? Is that just like
extra
+2 to your attack
exactly
or damage?
What the coordinated strike is? Let's do this real quick.
Because that's interesting. Because helpful just means you're helping with whatever.
Oh, come on. Control V.
Control C. I mean...
I'm sure it's in the features somewhere. I'm not 100. I didn't. I literally just chose that out of.
No. I was just curious.
I'm not sure.
We can look up
exactly what the coordinated strike is.
I can look it up.
Oh, it tells you right down here. I found it.
Oh, okay.
Coordinated strike. The sidekick is adept at fighting in concert with a companion. When the sidekick uses its helpful feature to aid an ally in attacking a creature, that target can be up to 30 feet away from the sidekick. And the sidekick can deal an extra 2d6 damage to it the next time the sidekick hits it with an attack roll before the end of the current turn. The extra damage is the same type of damage dealt by the attack.
So, who's making a second character? Or a third? Or fourth?
The spellcaster... I'm just going to go 8th level. No, 8th, it just gets an ability improvement. It's got a +3. But it's got... So at 8th level, it's got 3 cantrips, 6 spells.
Damn.
6 spells known. 4...
6 spells known. 4 usable.
Nope, sorry. I said 8th level. So 5 spells known, 4 first level spells, and 3 second level spells.
Damn. And for people wondering, well, I'm saying, damn, wow, that's amazing. I never play any spellcasters. I hate playing them. They're too complicated for me sometimes. So I don't know.
So spellcasters can take 3 different roles. They can be a mage, a healer, or a prodigy.
What's a prodigy?
Prodigy is a bard or warlock.
Oh.
Healer, cleric, or druid. Mage, they're a wizard.
Okay.
And that's what spell list they go off of. And then, you know, their ability, intelligence for wizard, wisdom for cleric and druid, charisma for bard and warlock.
Nice.
And then we've got the warrior. A warrior sidekick grows in martial prowess as it fights by your side. It might be a soldier, a town guard, a battle-trained beast, or any other creature honed for combat. So let's say at 10th level, it gets improved defense, and it's got a +4 to its proficiency. It looks like it gets indomitable at 11th level.
Man.
The sidekick is pretty cool, but you do not have all of the choices that you would with a normal PC.
No, but it's still helpful.
Yeah, no, I think it would be it's super helpful. And I'm glad that, you know, I actually cracked this fucking book open and started reading more than just, you know, the first couple of chapters. I didn't go to the end of the thing, and I read, you know, chapter 1, and that's it. That's where I stopped in Tasha's. Chapter 2 is the group patrons. Chapter 3 is magical miscellany, which is just like the personalizing spells, magic tattoos. And then chapter 4 is DM's tools.
See, I just go to wherever it says where they add character creation, what's new in the book, like characters or items. That's where I go. I don't read any stories.
That's chapter 1.
Oh, that's chapter 1?
Yep.
Usually that's like back in the book.
All right. Looks like David Lott just shared our stream over on Twitter. He might be here for the next table talk and drinks. It's hard to say. Say that 3 times fast.
I already have a really bad...
Say it 3 times fast.
No.
Table talk and drinks.
Table talk and drinks. I already have it bad. Like, I already have a bad... No. Speech.
Speech. We're only 30 minutes in, man. What do you want to talk about?
Should we do character creations? What's your thought process on you making a character? Or how a character should be built? Well, not really should be built.
I don't care how people build characters, man. Like, I don't micro... Like, man, I don't min-max my character builds. I don't go do a bunch of research online trying to figure out the best fucking combination. I literally go, I've never played this class before. I've never played this race before. Somebody's like, oh, those don't work together. I don't fucking care. I'm playing it.
Yep.
Douche. I don't care. Like, I will not min-max. I have never min-maxed, and I don't see the reason for it outside of, like...
Competitive.
Like, just, it seems like such a power move. Like, I've got to be the best. Like, and I'm not like that. Like, if you're like that, hey, you know, you do you. I'm sorry if I offended. I'm not like that.
Yeah, no. So, and for me, I don't try to min-max, but I try and find the best, like, combination that works for my characters. When I build a character, and yes, it's around pirate or a thief or something of that nature. Like, so, like, when I build, in comes the doctor for a hug and kiss. No.
We're making a podcast. Go.
I know. Watch out, baby.
Thanks. Hey.
But
that's my daughter.
Kitty. I know, he made something. No, but so when I make a character, I don't go in and say, like, I'm going to be this class, this race. I go, here's a backstory. Whatever it is. Pirates. Mostly a pirate or some type of...
I lived on a boat for 27 years.
Or a smuggler.
I've got scurvy, and I can only grow half a beard. I am a pirate.
It's not my goblin. My goblin was actually when I'll talk about Balmir, actually, how my thought process for him. I said, you know what, I want to play as an artificer, but I don't want to play a dwarf. Because those two kind of always seem like they go together. You know,
I played a Warforged Artificer once. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, but like, I was like, you know what? I'll play Goblin because I haven't seen people play much of Goblins. I'm like, so yeah, I'll pick a Goblin. That sounds like a weird thing. Most people like, oh, Goblins are usually shopkeepers, you know, or bank tellers if you're, you know, of the wizard.
And you made him a jeweler.
And I made him a jeweler because because when we were making the campaign, I'm like, I have to make something that makes a little bit more sense how my character is for what I have in my backstory. I don't want to make spoilers here, or we can make spoilers here. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how far I want to go in detail of the character I made.
Well, let's not go into too far detail. You're going to have to go check out the Icewind Dale campaign if you want that.
But, no. Actually, I'll talk about my other characters other than Balmir, because that's my process, because I'll do backstory, characters, and class. And then I'll go into the character creation of the classes, and I'll see what's there. And then I'll just start picking what makes more sense to what my character is. Like, I have a changeling that is a pirate, was on a boat, but my backstory is I was part of, it's a rogue, but also kind of like a fighter. The backstory was I was a traveling adventurer, got kidnapped by pirates, more like I joined, because certain things became benefits between the captain and the first mate were couples. Something happened.
He was boning the first mate
and the captain, and then and then making that story like that's how I got there. I know people, and then something happened, and then I'm an undead pirate. That's how I go. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I lost train of thought because maybe this is finally kicking in.
You noticed his one-track mind. He's like, I'm gonna live on land. Nope, I'm gonna be a pirate. Nee!
I actually have tried a different way. That was my old man when I did back in the day. Teddy Roosevelt wasn't the character. It was a fighter. It was an old man. His wife just died. And then it was going to be
die of scurvy because he was a pirate.
No, it wasn't a pirate. I wasn't on the pirate thing then. I think you got to blame Warhammer for my pirate thing going on right now.
Hey, we're not talking about Warhammer today. We're talking about D&D.
Yeah, but that's where most of my inspiration comes from, and culture classics and all that fun jazz. Pirates in the Caribbean, damn Johnny Depp, and Orlando Blooms.
Shiz.
This already went off the deep end. But yeah, that's how I go. But I don't like min-maxing, but unless it calls for it, I'll do it.
Like I said, I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm not for it. I like making my characters random. You could literally hand me a sheet and be like, here's your character, and alright, let's do this.
I like character creation of story. I can care less what I'm playing. I'll figure it out. Especially when I'm a wizard or a sorcerer. I will hate it, but I'll try to figure it out. Easy way for me to go for that is like, I'm a warlock. Yeah, I'm going down the evil path. No question.
Evil.
I will, what's her name? The serpent lady, what's her name? That god deity. Can't think of it. I'll probably come up with it later, but, yeah, just go straight down evil. Like, not like totally like, maybe I might be the big bad guy at the very end. Because I think that's cool. If a table, if you talk to your DM, like, hey, we're on this quest. We got to find this big bad guy. But I'm the big bad guy. There's a lot of people like, oh, they found this NPC that became the big bad. How about one of the players become a big bad? That's a good idea. That's kind of like how I think with my pirate one.
I'm just going to throw out a podcast here. Just, maybe, just maybe, you should go listen to Sanity Damage.
Oh,
by
really?
Homebrew. Over on Homebrew Podcasts. Sanity Damage, Nathan, I cannot remember Nathan's last name. Nathan's the DM over there, and it's a nice It's a good campaign. And I would really like to throw out Power Word Fail. Cody is the DM of that. It's also part of the Homebrew Network. We are not part of the Homebrew Network. They're just a couple podcasts that I really enjoy listening to. And they throw a lot of wrenches. You're just like listening, and you're just like, wait one motherfucking minute.
Yep. I listened to them already. One that was about infested, the infested horror one they had. I just listened to like episode 80 something, 89, 86, whatever.
Oh, okay.
That one, but go listen to them. But yeah, that's all I got. You got something else we can talk about? Or I can keep going on character creations forever. Even though I'm like, no, like my character creation's like, yay! Derek only doesn't want to check mine right now.
So there's a lot of talk on TikTok lately about how people are getting mad at DMs specifically not using the traditional stat block for monsters.
Who cares?
And
it's your table.
Exactly. So I don't remember who she is, but there was this creator on TikTok that I came across, and she literally opened the fucking I think it was a DMG, and was like page fucking 15 or whatever. It's like right here, this is a book of rules and guidelines. The table is yours. Take these monsters and make them your own.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people are getting mad. It's like, I don't remember goblins having fire immunity. And it was like, well, that's because the regular stat block, they have resistance. Yep. But at my table, they have immunity. And hey, I have changed stat blocks more times than I can change. I can shake a stick at. And the reason I do that is because I do have a lot of assholes at my table that are like, oh, I faced this monster before.
Technically, he has two assholes.
And I love them. I love them dearly, but I have to change it because if I don't, they're gonna try not to remember that this creature is vulnerable to fire, and they're gonna be like, fireball, and I'm like, it's resistant. And they're what?
Yeah.
What up, dog?
And then they're gonna get mad too.
And
we won't name names.
But I faced this creature. Well, I've changed the stat block, and I do it all the time, for the simple fact, it's like working on something, doing anything. You're not supposed to memorize the book. You're supposed to have the book in front of you to have, the most up-to-date rules. And as the DM, I make the rules, therefore I have the most up-to-date rules. And I personally like I said, I like changing the stat blocks because I do like stopping the power gamers from, coming in and being like, oh, they're a bunch of fairies. They're, vulnerable to fire damage. Not these fairies.
Yeah.
They're immune to fire damage, and you're like, this mother. I changed the stat block.
And I don't care. It's it's our table. It's your story. You're telling the story. We're playing the story. I think everybody's table should forget the fucking rules. Well, not forget all of them. Bring some
don't
back.
forget the rules. You need them. You need them a little bit.
You kind of need them a little bit. But if you're making your own world, with my game, I'm trying to write, but I'm lazy, and I haven't done it. I haven't written anything down. But I have ideas with the bar, the bar tavern, that's not be played a normal D&D campaign. It's meant to be hey, I got this one tavern, I'm gonna stick it in the world, call it a day. This one is, hey, it's a world. I'm taking the whole fucking tavern book into the world, and then I'm gonna make whatever. No, I'm gonna have some monsters. I might take that monsters, and I'll take another monster stat block, mix it up, or not do that entirely. Just no, it's just here's this monster, please kill it, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I think everybody should just. That's what I love about high fantasy gaming, like D&D or Mythcraft or Pathfinder or whatever the fuck you want to play. Just bring in your own ideas, and hopefully they don't suck.
And hopefully they don't suck. Yeah,
hopefully
that's
they don't
the
suck.
joy. Hopefully they don't suck.
And if you players,
that's our motto today. Hopefully they don't suck.
Hopefully they don't suck, like this podcast. We're working hard on it. But yeah, no, like, it's just dumb. Like, when I hear all these stories now, especially on TikTok, and just in general from other players, it's just like, that's not how I'm meant to play. Change it up. Do something. Like for example, like we had one game, we went in, we didn't have anything to fight fucking were-rats. But you know, like, okay, let's do what we have and try to do it. In my opinion, were-rats at level 1 with nothing is kind of bullshit. But
who would have done that to you?
Oh, the person I don't talk to. But like that's what was his idea, or he was going off the book or whatever he was doing. I ran with that. That's fine in my book. But like, if you're the DM, try and help your players. That's what I like to see with you, with your game. You help us, sort of. But
I just didn't want him to die in session 1. Now I'm just trying to kill him.
Now you're trying to kill him.
I'm kidding.
But even though too, like you had a monster over here that I was shooting at. We ran away. You didn't have that monster chase us. The monster receded back and left me alone. And then you showed up with 2 owlbears.
Who, me?
But that was enjoyable though.
Go watch the Icewind Dale campaign. It's on YouTube.
You'll see what happens. But like that concept, like, hey, you took this really high powerful monster and split it into really 2 high powerful monsters. I still ran with it. Now with my game, I might make it easy because I have no idea how I'm going to run it, because I'm thinking everybody's like a normal town folk. Like, you don't have supernatural powers. Like, well, you do if you choose to be a wizard, but you're going to die in a few hits. Unless we change the stat block so everybody has fighter levels. You know, make the game your own game.
Yeah. No, I'm I'm all for that.
And so that was a long rant, trying not to spoil anything, but take ideas.
Yeah. Go check out the Icewind Dale campaign on YouTube. We've got 3 episodes out right now. We've got our next coming out at the end of this month. I believe it's July 28th or July 29th. It's a Saturday. We play live. They're about 5 or 6 hours long. We're going to try to do these about once a week, hopefully on Fridays, maybe on Sundays, maybe on Saturdays. It really just depends on our timing.
But don't worry, I'll be drunk as usual.
And the goal is to have a lot more to talk about, and several drinks in. We're gonna try to keep it right about an hour. We don't want to go too much over an hour, for the simple fact, we don't want to bore anybody,
especially when I start to talk.
So I have a really, really cool tavern idea, and I'm sure that it has been put out there before.
Well, you never know. Hit me.
But my tavern idea, it is a chain tavern.
Like a restaurant chain? Or
Yeah, kind of like a restaurant chain, right? But it's the same tavern. So, say you show up anywhere on the Sword Coast. Yeah, that's the map of the Sword Coast right there. Let's say you're in Baldur's Gate, and you walk into Rickety Ann's Tavern, right? Everything, it matches the city around. You walk through the door, and hey, there's Marlo at the bar as the barkeep. Oh, hey, there's Cindy, the same bar waitress that you've been dealing with, that you dealt with in the last town. Oh, hey, there's Frank. This tavern looks familiar. It is literally identical to the tavern in the town you just left, except for the outside. Okay, you come out of the town. You go up to, let's say you go up to Luskin. You walk into the Pirate's Cove. You open the door. It's all beat up and battered and fucking looks like a rundown black ship.
Hey, my kind of place.
You open the door and, hey, there's Marlo. There's Frank. There's Cindy. It's the exact same tavern on the inside. It's a magical tavern. it goes wherever the players are.
It seems something like that. Some bar owner or keeper put a spell on every single bar to possibly do some shenanigans of
Yeah, maybe when you go through the door, you literally you step into a pocket dimension. And
that was actually my fun.
So no matter what bar door you go into this tavern that's on its own plane of existence.
Nice. And sounds like a restaurant from another world.
Sorry,
that's an animation. It's a really good show.
I didn't get it from an anime. I haven't seen that.
It's a really good anime. Makes you want to eat food.
But maybe I think that would be kind of cool, just to have like a pocket dimension pub that just is. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, and it's like you see people walking out of the tavern, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Jim in there," and blah 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 blah. And you walk into the tavern, and you're back in the same pocket dimension, and you're just like looking around. You're like, "Jim isn't in here. Jim didn't enter the pocket dimension." So maybe it's like a caste system. You have to have a certain amount of levels or something to enter this pocket dimension.
Don't make me change my
level
bar
3 or 4 or something. Say once you hit level 4, you've gained enough power or influence in the world that you're allowed into this tavern. You get better deals or whatever.
It's like better food, better price, better service, or whatever.
And think about it. Like, it can go all kinds of ways because this pocket dimension has a door everywhere at every single tavern in the entire world. So if you were to walk up and convince the barkeep to let you out in Luskin and you're in Baldur's Gate.
Damn. I'll enjoy that.
Look at the time savings of because fucking, if you're looking over here on this map, Luskin is way up here. Baldur's Gate, there's
halfway.
Winterdeep. Baldur's Gate's right here.
Yeah.
So, you enter the fucking tavern in Baldur's Gate, you convince them somehow, I don't know, a fucking DC check of 30, on fucking persuasion, and she's like, okay, dear. Boom, you're in fucking Luskin. That is literally, so this is 500 miles. So
that's 4 days.
You are, 1,100 miles away.
Oh, so and you're on wagon too, because you're not.
Oh
so
yeah, you are months.
That's a month.
Months
that's a
away.
Month travel. But you also go like that's a month travel that the DM doesn't have to come up with, or something the DM could have done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be really cool to just have a pocket dimension tavern.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah. Maybe also kind of cool of a crazy horror game too. Like you keep entering the same tavern, like you can't leave it. You're stuck until you break the curse.
He's trying to Groundhog Day this now.
Not Groundhog Day. It's just one of those things, Just especially with my bar crawl. I can have one that take that idea.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. If you let me.
Hey, it's out there. It's out in the ether. Take it.
And then put it in mind and this one hey yeah, that can go all sorts of ways. That's actually kind of cool. Save on a horse and buggy. Free travel. But at what price, though, too?
Yeah.
At what price?
Maybe it's an eldritch fucking god that rules the tavern. And every time you use their door, dude, they take a small piece of your soul. Maybe it costs you a level.
The beer gods have answered.
Costs you a level to exit somewhere you
I'll
didn't enter from.
I'll take it. Just be a fighter or a monk or whatever. Because, monks at level whatever 1 are still pretty powerful.
I'm just saying though, if it costs you a level,
I'll still
cost you HP, cost you a spell slot. There's some things, dude.
Time to sacrifice.
There's just maybe you come in there and literally every single being in there that's not you and your party are all eldritch fucking gods.
Hell yeah.
Or just deities that are waiting to make a deal.
Nice.
This tavern is the Crossroads. Let's make a deal.
That's good. Crossroads Taverns. And if anybody does use it, you gotta tag us because we want to see it.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! Tag Playtest Till It Breaks. Twitter, Facebook, fucking YouTube, TikTok.
Anywhere, I think at this point. Oh, we gotta get the threads going.
The threads.
That's Facebook's Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I know you want to
do that.
One more social media they get onto.
So yeah, like it's I think that tavern's a really cool idea.
Oh, there was actually a thing I was going to ask you. How do you feel players like? I know it's some players like paladins, clerics, warlocks. Most of those are like the ones that go to godhood, or try to ascend to godhood or devilhood. If you're a warlock, how do you feel like a fighter or a monk or breaching deity? How do you feel like a player character going to deity and still playing in the game?
Playing in the game, I think that's difficult.
Kind of like the Lucky Die. How one of their characters went to deity. Well, they did were doing trials to go to deity. That's an example.
I think if you're doing trials, that could be really fun. But I think once a PC becomes a true deity, like there's literally nothing that's going to stop them outside of other deities. Mm-hmm. So now you become MVDC.
So she had have the deity character like oh, his astral form is down here. He's not all powerful. He's still like a level 8. Or some shit like that.
Well, I mean, I don't see a PC becoming a deity until they reach a minimum of level 20.
Yeah, well, that's usually what it.
They'll hit level 21, and that's when they ascend to godhood or deityhood or however patronhood you want to call it. And I think that's completely fine for end of campaign.
End of campaign.
Unless you're running like a god campaign. And if you're doing that, you might as well check out Mythcraft.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
Well, no, but I'm saying, so Mythcraft goes to level 30.
Yeah.
So if you become a deity at level 20, I'm not saying Mythcraft does this, but, become a deity at level 20, and then your campaign transitions into a God versus God versus God campaign from 20 to 30. I think that's definitely doable. But we will talk about Mythcraft next time on Table Talk and Drinks. Or Drinks and Table Talk.
Or TTG.
TT and D.
D.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to Table Talk and Drinks. Drop some ideas, some conversations you would like to hear about anything in the comments.
We'll be reading.
Yeah, join us next week as we talk about Mythcraft.
Nice.
We're gonna try to jump into Mythcraft. It's still in playtesting. I know they're getting ready to come out with their phase 2 of playtesting. I think they're still looking at January for a full release. It might come a little early, but yeah. If you've got any questions about Mythcraft, we can, and you're not in the Discord, get in their Discord. There's fucking a shit ton of people in there that can answer questions.
There are more nerds there than us.
We are not affiliated with Mythcraft outside of we're founders.
We bought the books.
We're early subscribers. We do have playtest material. We do have playtest access. So we're gonna look through the books, and we'll see you guys either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday of next weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, I'm David Mode, and
I'm Derek.